A pleasant good afternoon, everybody. Welcome into Wittenberg University, Pam Evans Smith Arena for this second semifinal matchup in Division I of the OHSAA State Boys Championship semifinals. With Michelle Mimna, I'm Chris Solwecki. We're so glad to have you along with us. And Michelle, certainly that first game that we got a chance to see was unbelievable and kind of set the tone for this entire weekend. We're going to see some incredible volleyball.
Yeah, and again, it's special for a lot of reasons. It's Memorial Day weekend. It's at my alma mater. But this is the first, and as we said, Dublin Jerome and Olentangy Liberty as well. These four teams, they're the first to fight for a championship in Ohio for OHSAA boys volleyball. And, you know, everything else aside, that's just cool.
Yeah, absolutely right. Olentangy Liberty won the first set, or the first game of the weekend, 25-13, 25-17, 25-16. They advance over Dublin Jerome, and now they wait for the winner of this one between the Crusaders of Archbishop Moeller out of Cincinnati and the Explorers of Hudson High School, who are 23-0. And anytime you go undefeated, doesn't matter if it's the first season or the 100th season, you're doing something special.
Yeah, you really are. And not only are they undefeated, they have 6'6", 6'5", 6'10", and it's something we'll talk about later, but the size advantage, you know, there is, although that's not for Hudson, I apologize, my mistake, but there is just some really awesome talent that now the state of Ohio is really going to be able to see because the OHSAA being behind it.
Yeah, and it's been very cool to walk around the stands between games and see all these coaches from the different colleges around the state who are either here to watch kids who have already committed or perhaps watch kids who they hope will commit in the next year or two as their career continues on. Moeller, 19-4 overall, 4-2 in the Greater Catholic League. Hudson, as I mentioned, 23-0. Moeller coached by Lee Meyer, Hudson coached by Larry Meehan. And you mentioned a couple of big, tall kids on the front line. Moeller's got a 6'10 guy. We'll talk about him. But Tyler Gesselbrecht, 6'6 junior, oppo hitter, really impressive.
Yeah, second team All-Ohio, 234 kills on the season. He hits 241, and as we've talked about, that's really, really good for a pin hitter, but 37 blocks. So as an opposite, he gets his hands on quite a few. So he is kind of that, I would call him, if they can pass well enough and get him set, he should be someone who can really help Moeller get to tomorrow's championship match.
Well, and it can be pointed out that when you block, sometimes you get a full block, sometimes you get a half block, and so when you get to that number 37, you've gotten your hands perhaps on a lot more balls than just 37.
Without a doubt, those assisted blocks count as a half. So you're absolutely right. He's involved in quite a bit in terms of stopping the opponent's outside hitter, who is their most dynamic.
Speaking of him, it's number 14, Noah Zappone. He's a 6'3 senior and first team All-Ohio, pretty impressive player in his own right.
And coach says he is their floor leader. He is a 6-rotation player, first team All-Ohio, does it all. 197 kills, 106 digs, he passes a 2.4, 117 dig. I mean, he's going to be doing all of it, all of the things that you can do. So while I think there is a height advantage for Moeller, I think there's a very diverse offensive team in Hudson, and wow, this could be a good one.
I think it's interesting, your keys to the match, and I don't want to steal your thunder, but you talk about size or power versus crafty, and so I'm thinking two different styles we might see this afternoon.
Yeah, when we think about, you know, what does Hudson have to do? They have to be crafty because they're the smaller team. Crafty doesn't mean you're not powerful, but they've got to redirect things, and they have to serve tough. I felt that in our earlier match, Jerome could have benefited from serving tougher. So I do think that Hudson, to keep 6'4" Ben Hargety, 6'10" Will Patterson, and Gesselbrecht out of system, we're going to have to see those serves. And then Moeller use that size advantage.
Yeah.
If they pass well today, they win. I'm not a betting woman, but I would bet if they pass well that they win. And then they're going to score over the top, and they need to be able to get up and above the block.
Hudson not only is 23-0, they also have had only one match all season where they've gone 4 or 5 sets. They have been 3 and out all year long, but this will no doubt be a very impressive, very difficult test against the Archbishop Moeller Crusaders. We're going to pause for just a moment as the crowd stands and puts their hands over their hearts and faces the American flag to celebrate America on this Memorial Day weekend, the playing of our national anthem. Chorus of fans singing the national anthem even as it played. You could hear it through the headset. That was amazing. And it's time now to introduce the starting lineups for both of these teams. We'll get to that in just a couple of minutes. First, though, want to mention the officials for today's matchup. First, on the ladder is Shane White. On the floor is the second referee is Robert Duber. Then the line judges are Diane Elliott and David McCrae. So those are our officials for this second semifinal matchup this afternoon at 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock. Division II semifinals will feature Akron St. Vincent St. Mary and Archbishop McNicholas, and the second one, Independence versus Columbus St. Francis de Sales. We've not yet been given the starting lineup, so I am stalling. While I do that, I will quickly turn to Michelle. Again, we talked about certainly a difference in styles. I look at the Explorers. They're not nearly as big. They're not nearly as physical, but there's a reason they're 23-0, and there's a reason they've gotten here.
Yeah, and you're going to see, a diverse offense. They are, per Coach Meehan, solid in all positions. Solid meaning they can run their middles, in front, behind the setter. They can run quick tempo. They can run high tempo. Odds are we're going to see back row pipe. So I would fully expect, all right, to see a quick offense from Hudson, not knowing this team well. Again, with Moeller's size, I can only imagine they're going to look to try to pound the ball and really see what this defense from Hudson is all about.
How much does and I don't mean to be silly in this question, but how much does the pregame warm-up really impact the ball game? Because I'm looking at the Explorers right now, and I'm thinking to myself as I'm looking across the net at a 6', 10-inch middle blocker, and I'm thinking to myself, holy mackerel, how do I deal with that?
So I think, when I was a younger coach, I'd be like, oh, my team just had the greatest warm-up, and if we got beat, it's like, oh, well, we warmed up really well. But my coaches used to say to me, you don't win in warm-ups. Yeah. And winning the warm-up or looking the best in the warm-up really doesn't mean a whole lot, because as we saw directly in the last match, it's passing. You can be the tallest team, you can be a team that hits the hardest, you can have the best setter, but if they cannot be in system, that negates so much of that. So I think the better passing team wins statistically probably quite often.
We have the starting lineups now, so we'll walk you through those. First for Hudson, number 1, 5'10" senior outside hitter Elijah Bay. Number 4, Tyler Roque. Roque is a libero, a 5'10" senior. Number 5 is Jake Brown. He's the setter, a 5'9" senior. Number 9 is Kellen Gromasiak, a middle blocker, 6'6" senior. That's pretty impressive, pretty good height there. John Perez wears number 11. He is a middle blocker, 6'1", he's a senior. Noah Zappone, he was the player to watch that Michelle talked about just a few moments ago. Noah's a 6'3" senior, outside hitter, does a little of everything. And then Luca Carvalho, a middle blocker, 6'1", He is a junior. For Archbishop Moeller, they start like this. Number 10, Tyler Wong, is a defensive specialist, a 5'8 freshman. Number 11, Ben Markham, a 6'1 junior center. Tyler Gesselbrock wears number 12. He's an oppo hitter, 6'6 junior. Jack Dollard wears number 13. He's a defensive specialist / outside hitter, a 6-foot senior. Eli Ernst is a middle blocker, 6'2 junior. He wears number 14. Number 16 is that 6'10 kid, Will Patterson. I hate to be described as that 6'10 kid, but it's pretty impressive. 6'10 senior middle blocker, no question. And Benjamin Haggerty wears number 17. He's an outside hitter, a 6'4 senior. The head coach of the Explorers is Larry Meehan. The head coach of the Crusaders is Lee Meyer, and we are just about set to get underway. Moeller wearing their dark blue jerseys with gold lettering and white numbers outlined in gold. The Explorers wearing white jerseys with blue numbers. And you might notice that both teams have a jersey of a different color. That's the libero on each team. For Archbishop Moeller, it's Tyler Wong. He's wearing number 10. He's got a gold jersey with white numbers. And for the Explorers, it's Tyler Rookie, the 5'10 senior. He's got a blue jersey with white numbers. So we are set to go. Final thoughts before we serve this one up.
The tale of the two Tylers.
That's right.
I was waiting like 5 seconds to say that. I was so excited. You know, when we talk about differences between the women's and men's game, it's just the net. That's it.
Yeah.
So those of you following along, expect the same game. The net is, you know, 7-11 and 5/8 to be exact, whereas the women's net is 7-4 1/4. But other than that, same rules, different ball. But this is going to be a good one. I'm excited, as you said, to see some of the clear athleticism in this gym.
Tyler Rookie set to serve it up for Hudson. The toss, the serve, handled back row middle, quick set in the center, and hammered down, and there's the big guy. Will Patterson, 6'10", gets the first point of the ball game, 1-0 Moeller.
No surprise, when you pass well, you get to involve your middle attackers.
Now it's Ben Markham for the Crusaders, serving. Jumper, quick to the middle, outside, tossed down, nicely done, good adjustment in the air by John Perez. That set was a little bit off, and he did what he could with it.
Yeah, and again, that defensively, Moeller was a bit deep on that, so that was a very smart move and a very good way to be crafty, like I do believe Hudson's going to have to be.
Quickly off the bench is number 2, Spencer Yerke, and he's there to serve. That's one that was an overpass, and right there to hammer it down was the big fella, number 14. That's Noah Zappone, and it's 2-1 Hudson.
Yeah, and there's that passing game we talked about already coming into play with that overpass.
Yerke, a defensive specialist. He comes in at 5'10". He's a junior on this team. Second serve. That one's pounded, but it goes out. No touch. Oh, they are going to call it a touch, and so it'll go to Moeller.
Yes, our line judge over here to the right of the scoring table did call that touch. She's got a perfect vantage point.
And you got to love that. I love the fact that we have officials on the lines. A lot of times the officials in a regular season game or the line judges are students or parents. Yeah. Middle hit off the touch. Set to the outside. Big swing off the tape, dug out. Back row, pounded. Yang comes up with it. Bump across. The Explorers on the quick, out to the outside, blocked. Nice little rally here, quick one across, handled. Good net play this time, back row swing, off the arm, and that's a point for Hudson. Luke Oliver did his best, but he could not get a handle on it. 3-2, Hudson with the advantage.
Yeah, Patterson really getting his hands on about 3 in a row. But that last one, able to bite that end line, and they're going to have to work around that for the 3 rotations that he's in the front row.
Noah Zappone with the serve. Quick set, off the touch. Quick one in the middle, pounded down. Point for the Explorers, big swing by Kellen Gramosiak.
Yeah, and Coach said that Gramosiak really has the ability to do a lot of different things. That last play, when the pass was good, he took off as if he was going to run a slide. I think we're going to see some neat things from him today.
Zappone with the serve. There's a quick one. Set to the outside. Dug out nicely. Outside set. Moeller. Back row. Big swing. Not back row, back set. And a big swing put down by Tyler Gesselbrot.
Yeah, and defensively, that was well in the court. But Independence, or Hudson looking at each other like, wait, was that out? I'm like, no, fellas, that was in.
That was 4-3, Hudson with the advantage. Good dig out, back row swing. Gently tossed across and in front of Ben Markham. That's a point for Hudson, who leaves it now by 2, 5-3.
So I like the role that this big back row pipe is playing in Hudson's offense. They've been up to take that 4 times already. They've roll shotted twice and scored.
Set to the outside, nicely set, dinked across, keeping it alive. Really exciting work at the net. Back set, down the line, out of bounds. Point goes to Hudson. Moeller on their heels right now.
Yeah, that defensive hustle that we're seeing right now by both teams, but on that last play, that ball was headed towards us, and he was able to keep it alive.
Gramosiak with the serve. Bump set, this is gonna be a free across. There's the free ball. Here they come, close one at the net. In the middle, down in the corner.
Right now, Hudson's fans, they are fired up with this early 7-3 lead.
That causes Moeller to call a timeout, trailing by 4, and you've got size on one side, but right now you've got a very, you said it, crafty, and that seems to be what Hudson's doing, pulling out all the stops.
Yeah, I think they realize, you're not going to just all of a sudden jump over Will Patterson. You're not all of a sudden going to be strong enough to hit through a double block of Haggerty and Patterson. So what you have to do is make Moeller's defense prove to you that they can run through balls, that they can dive on the floor. But right now, I really love this start. Obviously, both teams watched film, but it's very, very clear to me that Hudson understands what they have to do to win this match.
Hudson 6 kills on 12 attacks, but no errors thus far, hitting an absurd 500, where Moeller has got 3 kills on 1 error on 8 attacks. They're hitting 250, which is pretty good in its own right.
Yeah, even I could do that math, because 12 divided by, 2 is 6 or whatever, 500. I thought I could do that math. I'm an English teacher.
That's right, that's right.
But yeah, I mean, again, this has been a very exciting start to this match.
Gramosiak with the serve, handled in the back by Wong. Big swing down the line, and they're going to call it off the antenna, so that's out off Moeller, and another point for Hudson, now 8-3.
Again, I don't know if that set was a little too deep, but those red and white antennas are not barber poles. They are there to stay away from.
Good pass at the net, up and down, big swing. Goodness gracious, Brody Threm with a great set. He was able to do whatever he wanted with it, and he hammered it down in the middle of the court.
Yeah, Spencer Yerke, the defensive specialist for Hudson, did a back roll after that one. His momentum was of that attack took him backwards. That was a really impressive attack.
Gesselbrecht with the serve. Bump set to the outside. Dinked across on 2. Close one at the net. Short. Nicely covered. Back set to the back row. And that's the official started to point in and then pointed out.
Yeah, and those are the kinds of calls that these officials are really qualified to make.
Unlike the parents at your home match.
Well, yeah. Home court advantage and all.
That's right. Good serve to the back row, not received well, and that'll be another point for Hudson. A service error, or a receiving error, I should say, for Moeller, who now trails by 6.
We talked about 2 things, serving pressure and being crafty on offense. And so far, Hudson must have been listening into my pregame thoughts.
Yeah, they were. Straight up the line, good swing, and off the touch, it goes out of bounds, so that's a point for Moeller. 10-5, Hudson has the advantage, and to the serving line goes Brody Threm, a 6'3 senior, middle blocker / outside hitter. Threm with a deep breath and a high toss. Drills it down the middle, back set. Off the touch, Wong hangs with it. Cross court and in front of Zappone, another point for Moeller.
Again, good defensive effort there, both teams. You saw Moeller's libero, Tyler Wong, with a nice play to bring that back into the court.
Another big toss, dug out by Zappone. Tight to the net, keeps it alive. Dug out, but it's going to go out of bounds. Point to the Explorers.
Yeah, a lot of really positive energy coming from this Hudson team. The way that they're talking to each other, congratulating each other, even just calling the ball out. Really dialed in, I think, to this opportunity today.
Elijah Bay with a flourish, big swing. Wong digs it outside. Cross-court cut in play, nicely done. Benjamin Haggerty, he hit that ball in a nice cut and just caught the inside of the line.
Yeah, again, about 12 feet. That is a cut shot. That is a cut shot.
So 11-7, Hudson with the advantage. And Tyler Wong to serve for Moeller. Outside, big swing, off the touch and down. Nicely done as Noah Zappone, the floor leader, getting it done from the far side.
Again, now you've got Gramosiak back in front with Zappone as well. John Perez, kind of their starting rotation.
Big swing off the touch. That was an interesting dig in the back row that time. Kind of came off the shoulder rather than the arms, but it was it didn't roll, so it was legal.
Hey, anything that doesn't spend any protracted amount of time on your body is considered legal.
Big one in the middle. They keep it alive. Back row swing, trying to keep it alive again. Can't do it. That's going to be over to Moeller. They're going to actually call it 4 hits. That it wasn't blocked, but that the net kept it from going across. So 12-9, Hudson with the lead, Moeller with the serve. Ben Markham with the honors.
Didn't see much argument, so Hudson players must have kind of known.
Bump set to the outside, Zappone, cross court, out of bounds. Good awareness by Wong to just step away and watch it go past.
Yeah, and he kind of patted his chest and said, yeah, my bad. One of the things that outside hitters have to do with as many times as they get the ball, if it is out of your comfort zone, keep it in play.
Coming short, that was well covered. Wong hustling, what a great effort by Wong. They're going clear. So much finesse at the net. Just tips and taps back and forth to try to get control, and Zappone ends up winning that one.
Yeah, again, it sometimes looks like a player's reaching over, but if that ball is at all in the plane of the net, it is fair game.
So to the serving line is Spencer Yerke. 13-10, Hudson with the advantage and the serve. Yerke with the jumper. Wong handles it close to the net. That's an overpass, and that's handled right there in the middle by Kellen Gramosiak, the 6'6" senior, and Hudson has a 4-point advantage.
Doing a nice job of defending the net is Gramosiak.
Yerke once again, very short. Not Yerke, but the serve. Off the touch, and that'll be a point for the Crusaders. Big swing over there by Tyler Gesselbrocht. 14-11, Hudson with the advantage over the Crusaders from Moeller.
We'll see if Moeller can get Gesselbrocht a little bit more involved. He's definitely been a factor as a blocker. I know they'd like to get him set up in their offense.
Luke Oliver to serve. Slide play there, the big fella, Gramosiak, hammers it home.
And that was beautifully run, 3 quick steps. The set was right where it needed to be. Absolutely beautiful slide play.
You know, it was in his sweet spot because he had a big smile before he even finished swinging.
He knew it.
Right into the block. It was a well-hit ball by Gesselbrock, but it was into the block and straight down. Point goes to the Explorers.
Yeah, Gramosiak at 6'6" is not at all deterred. He's got the mass as well as the height.
Bump set, real close to the net, but nicely done over there by Gesselbrock to put it over.
But it was
out of bounds.
It was out of bounds.
So a timeout taken by the Crusaders. Yeah, just trying to get a little rhythm for Moeller. They're trailing by 6, 17-11. Hudson has lots of momentum and has really done a nice job of playing their game to this point.
Yeah, and I think too, Moeller is unforced errors, you know, and it's some of the same kinds of things as we talk about. As we talked about earlier, the passing game has not been as crisp. They have not been able to get anybody really involved other than their pins. And, you know, the serving game has benefit Hudson. But, yeah, I like the game plan. They are feeling good with it. And there's too many unforced errors for Moeller.
Hudson hitting .360, only 2 errors on the kills thus far, 11 kills on 25 attempts. That's very, very efficient.
Yeah, and .222 for Moeller isn't bad.
No.
But when your opponent is hitting, you know, 160, 140 better than you, you know, unfortunately you gotta quit hitting the ball out of bounds when it's a broken play.
Well, even when you look at the total attacks, Hudson getting 7 more attack opportunities, 25-18. That speaks volumes. Serve to the back there. Outside, elevation off the touch. That's a point for Moeller. Brody Threm coming from the near side. Hits it off the touch and goes to the other side of the gymnasium. So here's Will Patterson. He's 6'10", middle blocker. A senior for this Moeller team. Jump serve. Quick one at the net. Dinked across, and he finds no man's land. That's impressive. Gramosiak, a big fella, shows a lot of touch on that play.
Yeah, and it also, what it shows is that he's looking as he goes up. He's not just blindly hoping to swing. Very, very smart couple of plays from the big middle hitter from Hudson.
That's well played as the overpass goes right to the hands of Eli Ernst, and Ernst was able to see the field and find the empty spot on the court. 18-13. So
I would have to imagine that Moeller's coach said in the huddle, Coach Meyer said, can we put it on the floor where they're not? Because the last couple times has been pretty strategic about where they wanted to put the ball.
Outside swing by Eli Bay, but he caught the antenna, so that'll be a point for Moeller, and they're climbing back in, now trailing by 4, 18-14. Gesselbrock to serve it once again. The high toss. He hammered that thing. Free ball across. Here comes Moeller on the attack. Quick one, pounded. Got a touch, so that's a point for Moeller, and they're climbing back in. 3 straight for the Crusaders.
I think that ball was out. However, there was a touch. And now the timeout is called from Hudson, feeling that creeping from Moeller.
Momentum is such a fickle thing, and when you feel it slipping away, anything you can do. And this will be the 3rd straight serve coming from Moeller, so the chance for the 4th straight point.
Well, and I like this timeout from Coach Meehan because he doesn't wait until it's tied. He doesn't wait until they're only down 1. He calls it where there's still a sense for his players. Hey, listen, look at the scoreboard. We're up, we're up 3. Closing in on the end of this first set. So I really like the timing of that timeout.
The Explorers back on the courts. Moeller still huddled up.
We saw an assistant coach over there talking with Gesselbrock and Patterson, the 2 kind of big main hitters. And I have to imagine that was a little bit of a motivational, hey, let's show us what you're made of.
Gesselbrock to the serving line here. I agree. I think that's You're my guys, you're my leaders. And then the timeout for the Explorers worked as Gesselbrock serves it out of bounds, missing the far sideline. 19-15, Hudson with the lead.
We do see both of these teams serving very aggressively, making that a big part of their game strategically.
Jake Brown served at that time. Wong sends it over after the block. Outside, big swing on that side by Bay. Quick one, tossed across, hustling. They send it across. Wong, back row. Out. Great job by Sapone to stay away from that one.
And he's happy about it. Yeah, this Hudson team is full of joy for this game. I love to see it. Love to see that it has helped get them to this level.
Zapone with a dig. Can they get it across? Oh, my goodness, a great effort by Threm. But the ball was sitting on the tape, and I think that threw his timing off just a smidge. So the point goes to the Explorers.
That's what defensive hustle will get you.
It's going to be a tight one at the net. Joust, point, goes to the Explorers. Number 25, Luca Carvalho, was able to win that joust, and the ball fell right between a couple of Moeller players.
Yeah, and right now, those 50-50 balls, which I know is kind of a basketball term, but they all seem to be going toward Hudson.
Outside, Threm with a big swing. Outside set, Bay tosses it across. They keep it alive. Bump set by Gesselbrock. Off the scoreboard and out of bounds. Long frustrated. Hudson 2 points away from taking this first set, 23-15.
Yeah, this has been a little bit of a too many unforced errors from the Moeller side of things. See if they can get back in here in the last few points. That one was tight, but it was out.
Benjamin Haggerty with the swing. And so now Hudson has set point in front of them with Jake Brown serving. Dinked across, Wong. Outside. Dug out by Zapone. Tight one in the middle. That's down in the back corner, and that's a point for Hudson. And set number one goes to the Explorers over the Crusaders, 25-15.
Just a really spirited performance, and I don't mean just excited. I mean the defensive effort, the way that Hudson's defense was able to dig, the pipe, the red, the outside attack from Moeller, really just a very, very clean performance, hitting 333 for that first set. Just like you said, very, very clean, 3 hitting errors only. And Moeller just really needs to settle in. I don't feel like they really got in a rhythm.
Well, Moeller only had 5 attack errors coming into that last time out that the Explorers took, and since then they had 5 more. So they kind of had their game fall apart there in the last couple of rallies.
Yeah, and again, it just goes to show, we talked about this a little in the beginning, you know, winning the warm-up, looking great in the warm-up, being really, really big in a game that big people thrive, it doesn't always mean what the novice might think it means. You know, this was just a really great performance, defensively, offensively, setting from Hudson, and you start to understand why they were 22-0.
How surprised are you that Moeller ended up with no blocks in that first set at all?
I am surprised, but seeing how the first play from Hudson's offense was a roll shot over Patterson. They watched tape. They knew what they needed to do. They didn't come out and say, "Oh, let's just go ahead and swing away and see if this team can block us." Moeller can block Hudson, but if Hudson doesn't let them, then you know with their strategy, then you've got a strategy to win there.
Gramosiak kind of led the way for Hudson. He had 4 kills, no errors on 6 attacks, hitting 667. Carvalho also pretty good. He was 3 kills, no errors on 5 attacks. That's hitting 600. On Moeller's side of things, Will Patterson only 1 kill on 1 attempt, so percentage is good, but they need to get him and Gesselbrock some more touches. Gesselbrock, 11 attempts, but only 4 kills and 4 errors. So set number 2 just about set to get underway. Moeller has moved away from their bench entirely, and they're kind of huddled up back in the alcove a little bit, talking through some things. The Explorers have broken their huddle already, and they're just kind of having a good time. And if you want to talk about a team that's loose and feels no pressure, that's the team from Hudson right now. They are just having a blast.
Yeah, they really do look like they're having a great time. And again, you know, I think when you look at Moeller, they've had incredible success as a program. You know, leading up to this official recognition from the OHSAA of boys high school volleyball. But the fact is now to take home some hardware, you know, you have to be able to execute, and you have to be able to see and adjust to what the other team is doing. So we will see. The second set is for adjustments. And let's see what Moeller learned about Hudson in that first set.
To your point, Moeller has 10 state titles, including 2018, 2021, and 2022. So this is a very accomplished volleyball squad. Quick reception, back row swing. Bay into the block and down, and the point to the Explorers.
Yeah, both of these teams using and feeling very comfortable with where their pipe hitters are, that middle back attack. And again, the setter's just knowing if I'm in a place where I can't do something in the front row, putting it up there and having success.
Close one at the net, sends it outside. Big swing, point goes down for Gesselbrock.
Gesselbrock there, really able to capitalize on, with Patterson going up, that delayed Gramosiak as a blocker. It held him. And what a emphatic kill.
That serve was out of bounds. Benjamin Haggerty on the effort, and so Hudson has the 2-1 advantage. Yeah, when you've got the big guy, 6'10", Will Patterson in the front, that keeps everybody else honest.
Yes, it does.
Zappone serves the back, outside set. Nicely done. Brody Threm tosses it down in the middle of the court, and we're tied at 2.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a roll shot. It was a little low for him. He kind of shot put it. Smart play.
Will Patterson steps to the serving line. Hits the jumper, and it's received with an error by Tyler Rookie. The libero lets it go right off the side of his arm. Point goes to Moeller. They're up 3-2.
And Patterson with an ace there, but they haven't really been able to get him the ball his last 2 trips through the front row.
That one's off the top of the tape, but cannot cross the net, so that's going to be a serving error, and he goes to the bench, does Patterson, being replaced by the libero, number 10, Tyler Wong. 3-3 is the score. Gramosiak to the serving line. Back set. That one catches the antenna, so that's going to be an attack error, and the point goes to the Explorers.
Yeah, letting that one get across his body as a right side hitter, that's dangerous. You've got to get it before it crosses your body entirely.
Nice pass to the middle. Threm from the outside, big swing between Gesselbrock and Yerke, and that ties the match at 4.
Yeah, and again, Hudson was left with a single blocker, which happens to be their setter, Jake Brown, at 5'9". And that was an easy score for Moeller.
Good reception, outside set, into the block. They keep it alive. Wong gets it up in the air, and they're going to clear it across. On the free ball, quick one in the middle, off the block. Moeller had the double there with Brody Threm and Eli Ernst, and the point goes to the Crusaders. They lead at 5-4.
Starting to see a little bit of animation now from the Moeller side of things, kind of settling in, getting a block there, big momentum shift.
Gesselbrock airmailed that one, 5-5 the score.
You can tell he's not happy about that one. They get that nice block got to come back. Sometimes you just got to say, this serve needs to go in.
Yep. Good serve middle back. Quick one. Nope, they tossed the second ball over. Wong, quick set to the middle. Nice swing from the back row as Benjamin Haggerty took something off of that. Finessed it across the net for the point.
Yeah, Saul Zappone was really playing deep defensively in middle back. That's that score from the pipe set. If you can get up there and have a second to look around, you can really pick your spots.
6-5 Moeller. There's a dig in the back row. Quick one in the middle, tossed. They keep it alive. Wong with the bump set to the outside. Pushed gently across. Again, they keep it alive. But hits the scoreboard and comes to the other side, and that's a no-no. So Moeller expands their lead now to 2, 7-5.
Yeah, that scoreboard played a role very early in the first match. And here it's been just a couple of times.
Threm with a high toss, the big leap, right down the pipe. Middle set, back row. Zappone tosses it, but it's caught. Back set. Off the block. Moeller with some momentum right now, 4 points in a row.
Yeah, Tyler Gesselbrock really starting to get moving. I think Zappone here asking them a little bit about potentially screening from Moeller. I can't be sure, but it looks like that might have been. He was asking him to watch out for that.
So Zappone had that conversation, and then Larry Meehan calls a timeout. His team trails by 3, 8-5. We talked about it in the first set that you and I got a chance to call. Momentum is a fickle thing, and we saw Dublin Jerome jump out in the second set after getting handily beaten in the first set. So that's what Moeller is doing right here. They've kind of taken advantage. Now the key is hanging on and not letting the Explorers with their carefree attitude climb back in.
Yeah, and not thinking that, oh, we're up now, so it's over.
Yeah.
You know, we're back. You're not back until it says 25, and you get there first. But I do feel like Moeller's starting to kind of hit their stride a little bit.
Well, Moeller hitting 500 this set versus 146 for the match. Hudson, on the other hand, they had a tremendous first set attack account today, or this set they're at negative 167. So fortunes have reversed, no question about it. Threm out of the timeout, ready to serve it again. The high toss, the big swing. Zappone calls the second ball, and now they have to free it across. Here come the Crusaders off the free ball. Outside, big swing into the block. And a great answer by the Crusaders as John Perez got up and blocked that swing by Benjamin Haggerty.
Yeah, so instead of increasing to a 4-point lead, out of that timeout, Hudson's able to cut it to 2. We've got a nice server back here on the line.
Elijah Bay, that's a quick one in the middle. And they're going to catch the touch in the middle of the field, middle of the court, as that was number 25, Luca Carvalho, who got his hands on it. So that's a block, but it's out of bounds, and it'll be Moeller to serve, leading by 3.
Yeah, that was a nice zero-tempo offensive ball by Moeller. Hudson was just late.
Wong serves it too strong, and again, quick reactions by the Explorers to not touch it as it floats past.
A couple of serving errors here, kind of hurting Moeller's effort to increase this lead.
Quick one in the middle. Dug out, now they're going to call.
Looks like he was over the center line.
Yeah.
And while part of your hand can be over, your foot cannot be over the center line. It's actually a rule that just changed. They used to give the boys game a lot more latitude with that. But with health and safety, you know, in mind, the OHSAA, I think, and NFHS took that into consideration.
Big swing from the back row by Elijah Bay, finds the back line. Point for Hudson.
Elijah Bay, he's climbing the ladder back there. I want to put the rims down and have him throw down a basketball. He is like literally climbing up.
Listed at 5'10". Wong digs that one out, but it's not pretty. It's going to be a free ball across. A little more than a free ball. Outside, Zappone into the block, but it goes out of bounds, so that's going to be a point for Hudson, who trims their deficit to just 1 now, 10-9.
So Patterson and Haggerty, two big guys, getting hands on Zappone's attack, but got to keep it in bounds.
Wong with a good reception. What a dig back there by Rookie. Here comes Moeller, back set. Tossed across, Rookie. Back set. Off the tape, and it lands in front of Wong. Changed the momentum just enough, or the tempo just enough to pick up that point. Ties it at 10.
Let's talk about Tyler Rookie. He is not playing like a rookie. I will say that. I'll tell you what, he was low. His platform was on the ground for that attack from Patterson.
Cross-court swing, that one goes way out. And so the point goes to Moeller, and more importantly, or maybe as importantly, they get their serve back. Benjamin Haggerty to go to the serving line for the Crusaders. Yeah, Rookie has played very, very well. Toss across, there's Rookie. Back row. Good leap by Bay. That was a flat-footed jump. What a save. Outside, big swing by Threm, handled. Quick one in the middle, tossed across. Outside, Zappone off the touch, they keep it alive.
Longest rally of the day.
Back row, too strong.
Hudson wants the touch. Actually say that was a fantastic rally. The instincts both of these teams are displaying defensively.
And then a bad reception. Rookie made a mistake that time, and Moeller's lead is expanded to 3, 13-10. Benjamin Haggerty doing the serving honors. Got the ace on that one. But this time he responds with one right into the net, so Hudson gets the point back and the serve, and Zappone will go to the serving line.
Yeah, and Haggerty was going right back at Rookie. Could tell by the trajectory of that serve.
Back set, big swing off the touch. And that's another point for Moeller as Haggerty served it and then came up and pounded it. He didn't serve that one, sorry.
Yeah, I think Gesselbracht had that one, but they are taking advantage of Gesselbracht against Bay on that right side for Moeller.
It's a big swing, and the big fella, Gramosiak, puts it down. 14-12, Moeller with the advantage.
Well, I know Gramosiak's rotating into the back row now. He only got one set that trip through. I would be getting him the ball more and more.
Absolutely. Outside. Can they keep it alive? They do. They send it across. Here comes Moeller, quick one, pushed. Zappone, bump set to the outside. Dug out. Outside, Thren. Out of bounds.
Wow. I can't get over the joy with which Hudson is playing. I know if you're not here, you can't see their faces the way that we can, but these kids are so happy right now.
They're just having fun. Back row. Zappone keeps it alive. Outside. Bay. Bump set to the outside. Gramosiak handles. Close to the net, but the back row set, or the backside set, I should say, and Zappone goes up and hammers it down.
That's what we call a red, that right back row attack. And I'll tell you what, Zappone's foot was about a centimeter from that 3-meter line, but he kept it behind.
Goodness gracious, what a swing. Gesselbracht. We are seeing some incredible attacks right now, both sides of the ball.
Yerke's like, all right, dude. One time it was from the outside attacker. He's just getting knocked on his butt. However, it's because they are incredibly strong attacks.
Keeping it alive. Back row. Zappone digs it. Outside to the far side. Bay hits it hard. Overpass. Wong keeping it alive. No. Hit the ground. Point goes to the Explorers. Lots of energy. Both sides. Big swings.
Yeah, I mean, skill level-wise, these teams are really, really equally matched. You know, the cliche of whoever kind of works the hardest might come true with this one.
Thren with a big swing and gets the point for Moeller, who leads it now by 1, 16-15. John Perez back in for the Explorers on the front row as well. Thren to serve.
I think Threm got them a few points his last time at the serving line.
Quick in the middle, too strong.
Wanted the touch call.
(17-15), Moeller with the advantage. Threm hits the ball with reckless abandon.
Rookie handle the last couple of passes.
Straight down the line and off the arm of Wong, and that's going to be a point for the Explorers.
Elijah Bay says, I can knock a libero down too. Yeah, I'll tell you what, I really like the game of Gesselbrocht and Bay. Two competing pin hitters, and man, they both bring it.
Serving error by Bay there.
I should have known better than to mention him by name.
Moeller by 2, 18-16, and it'll be Tyler Wong to serve. Bump set. Zappone over the net. Second ball, off the touch. Jake Brown got his fingers on it, and Moeller leads by 3.
Moeller's feeling a bit of a resurgence here. See if they can hold on for this second set, and then it gets interesting.
Back set. Quick one in the middle. Right off the shoulder of Jake Brown. The point goes to Moeller. And now they lead it by 4, 20-16.
Yeah, Will Patterson, they're starting to get him the ball a little bit more, and he's had 2 kills on his last 2 attempts. It's gonna be hard to stop that.
How much time at coaching do you spend in helping players know how to serve different areas of the court? Like you've talked several times about certain players and trying to pick on them a little bit. How much time do you spend coaching your kids on that?
I mean, we spend a fair amount of time. I would say every practice there is time, whether it's just the skill of getting it to certain places. You know, certainly serving to an outside hitter who's in the front row and who has pulled back, that has got to be, you know, you have to have servers who can hit that. You know, I think the short serve game is certainly very important to try to make either middle hitters try to serve receive, which they do not want to do. But yeah, honestly, especially in the girls game, it's a huge strategic advantage for the team that can serve certain players.
Moeller hitting 290 during this set. Hudson down to 100, so Moeller definitely has the advantage in the efficiency category and being able to put the points on the board, and that's demonstrated by a 4-point lead. Outside set, Zappone hits one off the block. Good pass to the front. Hit down, dug out by rookie. Bay from the back row. That one's gonna hit the scoreboard and land on the other side, so a point goes to the Explorers there, 20-17.
Yeah, and that, you know, the looks on Moeller's faces, like in a gym without the big scoreboard, that's a play that someone's calling the game saying, what a great dig, and unfortunately, that's what happens when you're in the big leagues and you're playing in places with the big scoreboard.
Quick one in the middle, goodness gracious. Will Patterson up and down, and his team now leads it by 4 once again, 21-17.
Patterson starting to get heated up here. We're just talking about serving. You see Coach Lee Meyer over there giving serving signals.
Ben Markham answers those signals, doing it the right way. Outside, into the block. Will Patterson blocks it down. And Moeller's lead is 5, and I think that's probably a set best.
Yeah, and Jake Brown needs to make a better decision there, running Gramosiak right into Patterson. Gramosiak turned and looked at Brown and said, I'm putting words in his mouth with that, But yeah, make Patterson move. Don't run somebody right into him.
Joaquim Andrade back into the matchup for the Explorers, and there was an overpass that Tyler Gesselbrock took care of. 23-17 now.
Yeah, they called him over.
Oh.
They did call him over. Now, the officials, he said the ball was all the way over here. So as exciting as it might be, if that ball is all the way on one side of the net, you can't touch it.
That serve goes out of bounds. Yeah, so I looked down at my notes a moment too soon. I missed the official call on that. I apologize. 23-18, Moeller has the advantage.
Moeller's bench chanting out, the ball doesn't lie. Something we chant when we feel we were robbed, and then it came back to us.
Zappone with a huge hit down in front of Haggerty for the point.
Zappone, again, he's that 6th rotation, does everything for us kind of player, and they definitely needed that play. 23-19,
Moeller has the lead. There's a toss over. What do we have? We're going to have I believe they're going to call the Explorers over the net.
Yeah, they made the same call, keeping it consistent.
So Moeller now with set point and a chance to tie this match up at 1 apiece. First, though, Spencer Yerke goes to the bench, and Dylan Fritz comes on for the Explorers from Hudson. Will Patterson to serve. Bump set to the back row. Zappone sends it across. Back row. Keeping it alive. Zappone, good job with the second ball. Back set. Big swing, out of bounds, no touch. So the point goes to the Explorers. They're down 4. And Gramosiak will step to the serving line.
Now, I could tell you an old coaching anecdote about being up 24-20, but I won't go there.
Gramosiak serves it. Outside. Off the touch. On the floor. That's a point for Moeller, and they win set number 2, 25-20. So it's 1 apiece, and for only the second time all season, the Explorers will play at least a 4th set.
Yeah, Moeller, on the other hand, if you look at, and it's partially, due to their schedule, but even their regional final, 15-12 in the 5th. So, A, they know how to battle and come out on top. But B, they've been tested.
Yeah.
So I think that is clearly in their favor.
There's so much to that 4th and 5th set. I mean, there's endurance involved. There's knowing that you've been there before, and the spotlight's not too bright. There's so many things that play into that moment that's really, really important for these kids. And it may turn out, don't have a crystal ball, but it may turn out the Explorers find themselves in uncharted territory, and that may work against them at some point. Yeah,
because that 5th set is really unlike the others, and it's just so fast. I mean, a 5th set can literally be over in 10, 12 minutes.
Yeah.
And you don't have the time to say, oh, it's early in the set. It gets to 0.5 and 8 before you even know it. So that 5th set is something that you do. You address that in practice. You talk about the different kinds of plays you would run in the 5th set as opposed to others. You might rotate. You might start in a different rotation because it might take too long in a normal set to get around where you want to be. So it's definitely something that, having been there, benefits that team.
We talked about Will Patterson after the first set, just 1 kill, 1 attack. Now he's 4 for 9, so he was much more involved, much more engaged in that second set. I shouldn't suggest that he wasn't engaged, but an opportunity for him to maybe leave his mark a little more completely there in that second set.
Well, and I will say I think Moeller, again, my opinion, was probably a bit surprised at kind of getting beaten soundly in that first set, and that because you saw Gesselbracht come out as well with a little bit more intensity. So maybe that was a mental thing of, hey, this team could absolutely beat us, so we need to use all of our weapons.
Patterson hitting 444 in the set, or in the match so far. Eli Ernst also hitting 429. He's got 3 kills on 7 attacks with no errors. That's pretty impressive as well. On the Hudson side of things, Noah Zappone, we talked about it. This guy is everywhere all the time. 7 kills on 18 attempts with 2 errors. Also 8 digs in the back row. He is the epitome of that team leader that his coach talked about.
Yeah, and they're going to need him to score from the back row as well. Because as we started to see that trend of that block from Moeller really starting to kind of control the pins. So I would say that Gramosiak and then in the back row, Zappone, that's going to be the combination that's going to be able to overcome Moeller.
So set number 3 about to get underway. 25-15, the Explorers won the first one. 25-20, the Crusaders won the second one. Outside, big swing. And off the hands of number 4, Tyler Rookie. So the first point of set number 3 goes to the Crusaders of Moeller.
It looked like a little bit of a miscommunication between Rookie and Bay. They both looked like they were trying to come in and kind of parallel and play that ball.
Zappone handles that serve, back set. Sent across. Wong outside. Nicely dug. It's going to have to be a free ball, and it is. Quick one. Patterson hits it hard, dug out nicely by Bay.
I like Bay's hand-to-ball contact. He was able to kind of twist himself around and not just send a free ball with his platform, and it ends up scoring a point. Very, very well executed by Bay.
Bay having some conversation right now with Tyler Rookie, talking about spacing and the such. Back set, pushed across. Zappone. Diving effort by Dollard. Toss across. Good up. Zappone pounds it down the line and over the head of Ben Markham for the point.
Now what I love about that is the last time Gramosiak ran a slide, they set him and he got a kill. He took off, they threw it out to Zappone. Zappone gets a one-on-one. I mean, that is game planning.
Dollard with the bump. Outside. Gesselbracht gets blocked. Gramosiak is there, as is Jake Brown, and the point goes to Hudson. They're up 3-1.
I think Jake Brown wants to take a little more credit than perhaps he had for that particular block.
Yeah. Brown 5'9", Gramosiak 6'6". I don't know.
Gramosiak looks like a nice guy, though. Maybe he said, yeah, you can have that stat.
You know what? I bet if he's playing tomorrow, he doesn't care who gets what stats. Yeah.
Not at all.
3-2, Hudson has the advantage. Moeller with the serve. Ben Markham, I'm sorry, that's number 17, Ben Haggerty. Not a good reception that time by Tyler Rookie. The libero lets it slide, and it's going to be even at 3.
Yeah, he's had a great match so far, but they're definitely keying in on him with Haggerty's serve. And that's the second ace Haggerty has had against Rookie.
This time, Rookie is equal to the task. Back set on the slide, and Gramosiak hammers it down for the point.
And there they did the opposite. So, you know, when you've got Gramosiak and Zappone in the front row, it's keeping Moeller guessing.
Zappone now in the back row because he's setting at the serving line. 4-3. Hudson with the lead. He serves Haggerty outside. Threm cut it hard, but it was dug out. Gramosiak with the bump. Back row. Zappone keeps it alive, tight at the net. Will Patterson wins that joust, as you might imagine, for the 6'10 senior, and ties it up at 4.
Yeah, Jake Brown had a chance to do something with it, but they're saying after his block touch, he touched it twice. Because you can touch it after a block touch, but you cannot touch it 2 other times.
Gromosiak tosses one in the back corner. He found a place where nobody was standing and sent it home. 5-4, Hudson on top.
Yeah, and that was a great play. Again, Gromosiak is showing that he's up and looking. He's not up and just seeing the ball, and he's seeing those corners. I really like the play of this guy.
There's an overpass. Wong digs it out. They're going to come to the outside, but no, they're going to call a double hit against Moeller, so that point goes to Hudson. Of course, to be able to look over the court, you have to be able to have some hops. A guy like me, I jump, I don't have time to look before I'm back on the ground, so.
Well, and I have to look down to make sure I don't land wrong and, you know, damage something that needs surgical intervention.
There's a toss into the corner. Threm with a nice job.
There's a reason you and I are here and they're out there.
That's right. That's right. Once upon a time, being out there would have been fun.
Yes,
now it's just an insurance claim waiting to happen.
Whew. Workers' compensation.
6-5, Hudson on top. Gesselbrock serves the Pone. Outside, it's tight. Down the line, out of bounds for Bay, but they've got somebody in the net. It's Moeller. Number 11, Ben Markham called in the net, so that's coming across to the other side. It'll be a serve opportunity for number 5, Jake Brown.
Oh, that's a costly error, because that ball was hit outside the antenna. That's a free point. And that's where that body control is going to come in.
That serve is well long by Jake Brown. So an unforced error against Hudson gives Moeller a point. They trail 7-6. Brody Threm to the serving line. And this guy is consistent at doing that. Back set, Bay. It's touched. Hustling over there to try to make the play was Tyler Gesselbrock. Unable to do so. Bay gets the kill, 8-6.
Yeah, I like that play, and Jake Brown did a great job of disguising that set. He really looked like he was going to take it out in front. That was beautiful.
Elijah Bay serves that one into the net. Another unforced error, second in a row for Hudson. They send it back across for Tyler Wong. Wong has been very consistent. He doesn't serve the ball with a lot of juice, but he puts it where he wants it. Outside, Zappone. Markham with a touch. Outside is going to be a free ball across. Skip the tape, but stays alive. Outside, Zappone right into the double block. Will Patterson, along with Ben Markham, gets the block.
I will not repeat what Will Patterson just said, but he was very excited, ladies and gentlemen, about that block.
8-8 is our score. Wong serves it again. Doug in the back row, bump set. And Patterson's there to block that one down. That was well off the net. Not really a free ball, but also not a hardcore attack, and Patterson said he was going to have none of it. Moeller with the lead.
Right, correct.
9-8. Bump set. Into the block. That time it's Patterson and Haggerty. And it's a block party on Moeller's side of the net here in set 3.
Yeah, I think Hudson now has to do something a little quicker with their sets so that they are not getting ganged up on at the pins.
Zappone leaves his feet a little early as tries to adjust in the air, and Patterson is there along with Gesselbrock. And Gesselbrock says, yeah, that's 4 blocks in a row. Now the official calls Ben Markham over to have a quick conversation.
Yeah, they're talking about the players running out into playable area. Even though it's a dead ball, behind the court is considered playable area, and they are not allowed to have those spontaneous celebrations.
Wong serves it deep. Rookie with the reception. There's Zappone, who is able to avoid Will Patterson that time. Back set, big swing off the touch, kept alive. Back set, back row, dug out by Gesselbrock. Quick one, and that's Haggerty with the slam.
Starting to feel it now.
Moeller with quite the momentum swing. 5 straight points and a timeout on the court.
Yeah, the blocking game has started to emerge. It did take until the third set, but they have been able to really use that to their advantage.
Will Patterson has done a good job with his slides, getting from pin to pin, and he's also got some help, and that's what you talked about it at the outset, but having a front row with that kind of height, you don't just need the 6'10 guy. You got 6'4", 6'3", there's no real easy wall to get around.
Yeah, and it's not gonna be, really feasible to try to tool that block because they're literally just kind of this dome that forms. And when you've got 4 hands that are penetrated a foot over the net,
yeah,
that's where that advantage really creates points.
So out of the timeout, the Explorer is already back on the court. Moeller making their way there now. Moeller with the 4-point advantage, 12-8. And Tyler Wong will continue to serve.
Zappone taking a minute to talk to his setter, Jake Brown.
Apparently we have an issue with Gesselbrock. Either he's got some, I don't want to begin to guess, but they're over there either retaping or doing something.
Looks like maybe to a portion of his left hand, so obviously hope everything is fine.
The official has chosen to give them time for whatever they're doing to get done, let him come back out on the court. So we have an extended break. Here he comes. Looks like maybe they wrapped his wrist.
When you're blocking as much as he's blocking, then maybe one of them hit a little bit awkwardly.
So Gesselbrock is back. Tyler Wong ready to continue his onslaught from the serving line. This one's a jumper. Zappone digs it. Back row. Big swing by Elijah Bay, and that's going to be a point. And for the moment, momentum is broken for the Crusaders.
Yeah, and that, again, that's a great play. They get Bay in the back row. He turns it to the left back corner away from Will Patterson. Makes perfect sense.
Tyler Rookie to serve for the Explorers. Bump set. Big swing. Benjamin Haggerty coming into his own a little bit in this third set as well. Haggerty now 7 kills on 21 attacks.
Yeah, Hudson's had a little bit of trouble this set in particular of having their blocking game earn them points.
Back set. That one into the block. Good swing by Noah Zappone. Sorry, John Perez.
Yeah, and that's a great play because, again, the back set was low. It was second tempo. The blocker was facing out of bounds. He's not going to block it inbounds if his hips are facing out of bounds.
Outside, Gesselbrock hits it hard between Bay and Yerke, and the point goes to Moeller, 14-10.
Yeah, one of the keys for Moeller was score over the top. And when Jake Brown, who runs that 5-1, is up in the front row, real advantage for Moeller.
Quick in the middle and a good adjustment made by Gramosiak to get the point.
Another smart play by the big fella in the middle.
Gramosiak hitting .385 now for the match. 7 kills on 13 attacks. Back set, tossed across, dug out by Yerke. Quick one in the middle. Gramosiak again, pounds it down. And he does a good job of seeing Will Patterson and hitting around Will Patterson.
Yes, he's made some really nice plays. Again, it's about being up in rare air with 6'6" and 6'10", but being able to see what you have to do.
Outside set, Threm, big swing, it stays in. And Moeller picks up the point, leading now by 3, 15-12.
Now Hudson's got a little bit of an opportunity with Patterson rotating into the back row.
Bump set, back row, Zappone misses the line.
There he's trying to make Patterson dig the ball, which is a smart idea. We got to hit it to him.
16-12, Moeller with the lead. Patterson with his second serve. And that's an ace, as rookie couldn't get it to elevate. And a timeout taken by Coach Larry Meehan. 17-12, Moeller with the lead in this third set. Set one went to the Explorers, 25-15. Set two went to the Crusaders, 25-20. And here it's 17-12 with the Crusaders leading in the all-important third set.
I think, here again, 12-17, 5 points.
Yeah.
Not over. I do think we're starting to see that Hudson's going to have to make an adjustment, and they're going to have to be able to execute. I've seen Zappone try to do, different things with cutting the ball. It has to fall in. So can Hudson, I know they know what adjustments, can they execute those adjustments while dealing with that block?
Yeah.
I think that's going to be the key, and if they can, then they can win this match.
Through the first two sets, Moeller had 15 attack errors. Thus far in this set, just one. There's a service error by Will Patterson. So the point goes to Hudson. They get the serve back, and Patterson goes to the bench to be replaced by Tyler Wong. Gromosiak floats it. Wong digs it. Bump set to the outside. Kept alive. Wong with the bump. Back set. Outside, Threm. Kept alive. Gromosiak with the bump. Whew. Wong outside. Gromosiak with the dig. There's one off the block. Nicely done by Elijah Bay. Good rally by both teams.
Yeah, I'm starting to kind of get a feel for this match a little bit. I feel like when the long rallies happen, there's advantage Hudson because of their ability to be crafty in their ball control. But when you're in system, the advantage is clearly Moeller.
This has got to be a free. It is, tossed across. Gromosiak keeps it alive. Zappone sends it across. Moeller in system. Big swing by Threm, kept alive. And it falls to the ground. Zappone and Yerke both went after it, didn't want to crush heads, so the ball ended up falling between them.
Yeah, they were both moving at about 90 miles an hour, so I don't think I would have wanted to see. Yerke might have not come walking away from that one.
Down the line, an ace from Gesselbrecht. What a swing.
That was a fantastic serve. You know how hard that zone is to serve? Because that's about a 2-foot space with that top spin serve. Okay, Tyler Gesselbrecht, I see you.
Yerke goes to the bench as Dylan Fritz comes in for the Explorers. 19-14 is our score. Gesselbrecht pounds that one. Off the tape and out of bounds, no touch, so the point goes to the Crusaders. And now they lead by 6. Yep. Relentless.
Bay really trying to stay away from that block of Gesselbrecht, and the tape did not help him out that time.
The high toss. Down the line again and off the arms of Elijah Bay. That ball was smoked. 21-14. I don't know if you can see this on camera, but every time Gesselbrecht gets ready to serve, he stands at the serving line and takes several steps backwards and then turns around, and that's how he measures his approach. Bay off the touch. That'll be a point for the Explorers. 21-15. Hudson trails by 6, but they do get the serve back. Jake Brown to do it.
We're still at a point here where a few points in a row, either team.
Back set, into the block, and that'll be a point for the Explorers. Bay throws it off the double block and gets the point.
Yeah, off the block, and then the block, I think, into the antenna. And the reason I say that is this third set is critical from a motivation standpoint.
Back row, what a dig. Into the block. John Perez got a good swing, but the block was equal to the task.
Yeah, sent that right back off of John Perez's head. So they get that cheer, they like pat the top of their head. The things that these kids come up with.
I'm saying. There's an ace. Threm with a big swing, 23-16, Moeller on top.
Yeah, definitely targeting Noah Zappone and Rookie, trying to get that seam in between them.
Quick one in the middle. Long hangs on. Quick set, Haggerty cross court. Right between Zappone and Rookie, which is what you just said.
Yeah, and it's what they want to do. Their motion, their paralleling was great. One of them's got to make contact with the ball.
Set point for the Crusaders. The high toss. He's going to try it again. Threm. This time the toss is good. The swing. Rookie close to the net. Back set. It's out. No touch, and the point goes to Moeller, which means set number 3 goes to the Crusaders. And we will have a 4th set with the Explorers, who won set 1, now trailing 2-1. 15-25, 25-15, 20-25, 16-25.
Say that again really fast.
Yeah, I'll confuse myself if I do that.
Oh, goodness.
But what we've seen is you talked about the physicality of Moeller, and what we saw is after that first set, they got some rhythm going. They got Will Patterson much more involved, and that's made all the difference here for the Crusaders in sets 2 and 3.
Well, and honestly, the serving game for Archbishop Moeller is scoring them point after point. In fact, 7 aces for the match.
Yeah.
And that's significant. They won that one by 7-ish points. So there's certainly, you're seeing that big topspin jump serve from every other player. And the float serve can be very effective, but you can't argue with the speed and the drop factor of that topspin serve.
Well, it seems like that for Hudson, the things that they did in set 1 were a little bit anomalous, or they seemed like something new. Now in the third set, Moeller has made adjustments, and they know exactly what's coming now, or at least they have the ability to manage it a little bit more. To me, it feels like, and you're the analyst, but it feels like Gromosiak is kind of the key to getting back on track if you're the Explorers, because he's a big guy, but he has a lot of options. He's not just a one-trick pony.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. I think he needs to have more swings. He's had 15. That's only 5 a set. He needs to have 8, 9, 10, because I think he'll do smart things with it. He's not going to make a mistake. And with the pins being a bit smaller for Hudson, let him go up and be able to work. But yes, I think the size advantage and the physicality of Moeller is starting to show through.
And then you talk about the serving game. You mentioned it a moment ago. Brody Threm, really impressive. Tyler Wong has been incredibly consistent. Great serving experience for this Moeller team. They haven't given it away much.
Not at all. And again, as you said, they're hitting. They just hit 346.
Yeah.
For that set, that third set. That's incredible for a team. Whereas Hudson, because of the block, is hitting 152.
Yeah, and only one error in that set as far as the attack is concerned. So Moeller leading it 2-1 as we head to set number 4. And the Explorers are in danger of their 23-0 record going and having its first blemish of the year. But it ain't over yet.
No, and they're out here talking to each other. You know, I think a key is Rookie needs to really just kind of stay who he was in set one. And that might seem a little vague, but, you know, they're picking on him a little bit in serve receive. He can pass them perfectly. He's done it. But he can't afford to get aced anymore in this match, because then that affects him mentally.
He receives that one well. Quick one to the middle. Hit down in the back row, but dug out. Haggerty. Outside. Zappone into the block. Try to keep it alive, but they cannot do so. And so Zappone gets the first point of the match for Hudson, 1-0.
That's a good start, because Rookie had a great pass with his hands. They're able to score with Zappone. And we'll see if Moeller can continue to pass as well as they have.
Spencer Yerke with the serve, well received in the back row, outside to Gesselbracht, and that one is going to go down in front of Rookie, which is a rookie mistake. You don't let us as the libero, that doesn't happen. We're tied at 1.
I think he thought Yerke was going to cut that off, just the way they both looked at each other. Closest player cuts it off.
Haggerty serves Yerke. He digs it. That one goes off the tape, but does not cross the net.
I was ready. It was coming right for me.
And I know you would have made a whale of a play.
I would have made a whale of a play.
Moeller 2, Hudson 1. Haggerty with the toss and the big swing. Outside. Wong sends it outside. Dug up by Bay. Second ball tossed over, trying to keep it alive and unable to do so, as Threm got his hand on it, but he was going the wrong direction and could only get a fingertip.
And that's a great play by Brown in terms of throwing it over on 2.
Yeah.
Because they were there to play it, but they didn't play it well enough.
There's Will Patterson off the set. Ben Markham sets him up, and he's able to, even with the one-handed set, throw it down to get the point. Patterson serves. It goes out. Unforced error by Moeller. We're tied at 3, and Patterson goes to the bench as Wong comes back on. Now the big guy from Hudson, Kellen Gramosiak, gets a chance to serve. The 6'6" senior. Serves Wong. Quick one in the middle. Dug out by Yerke. Outside. That one's off the block. Oh my goodness. Threm sent it just over the top of the net, and Bay was there to hammer it down.
And that's what we call happy birthday to pin hitters. Any hitter loves an overpass.
That one right down the line. Threm receives it. Back row swing by Haggerty. Zappone tries to keep it alive. I think if he could have, he would have gotten out of the way, but instead he deflected it. Nobody else able to get to it, and we're tied at 4.
Yeah, now this is the lineup that Hudson has to be a little careful. This is their small front row lineup. And this is where Moeller was able to really, really not only get several blocks in a row, but score with Threm. So the serving has to be really tough, and the passing has to be really on point here.
Gesselbracht hits the second one. Can they keep it alive? They bump, set it back. Free ball across. Outside, Threm, cross court. They're going to keep it alive. Free ball across. And that one's going to be behind the antenna. So the point goes to Moeller. That ball came off a Final Four banner up there in the rafters, and that was the only reason that the Explorers were able to play it, but play it they did. But all for naught as the point goes to the Crusaders. Gesselbracht just hammering that ball. Quick one, middle, down.
Yeah, and this is where we're starting to see if Moeller's in system, this spells a very, very difficult task ahead for Hudson.
7-4, Moeller has the advantage. Gesselbrock pounds it over the bench. Ball is hit so hard, his opponent got his body in front of it, but that's all he could do, and the ball ricocheted to the left.
I mean, Gesselbrock had a very kind of inconspicuous first set, and ever since then, he is something else. Oh, and he's a junior, by the way, in case you were wondering.
By the way. Gesselbrock already with 4 service aces today. That one's kept alive. Back row. Gesselbrock pounds that one. His opponent is trying to use his arms as shock absorbers, and he sent the ball careening into the stands.
Yeah, I think he might actually be trying to do a little too much.
Yeah.
And just kind of, volleyball's a rebound sport. Let it rebound. The minute we start trying to direct it too much, things get a little, too many errors happen.
That one goes just long, and Gesselbrock smiles and claps his hands. It's like so close. But the point does go to Hudson, and the serve goes back to them as well. Jake Brown at the serving line. Serves Threm. Back row, Haggerty. And unable to dig it is Jake Brown.
Yeah, platform difficulties there as well, too wide.
The Explorers seem to be on their heels just a little bit right now. And it doesn't get any easier with Brody Threm at the serving line. This guy hits it hard every time. He actually took a little something off of that one. Back row, Zappone. Outside, Haggerty tosses it across. They keep it alive. Zappone frees it across. Outside, Haggerty. Between Zappone and Rookie, and that'll be another point for the Crusaders.
Yeah, and that was the problem we saw in set 3, this rotation. Haggerty has very little in terms of a block up in front of him because of the size advantage.
Timeout taken by Larry Meehan. 11-5, Moeller has the advantage in set number 4. They're ahead in the match, 2-1. They dropped the first one, but they won 25-20 and 25-16 in sets 2 and 3 respectively.
I'm trying to be a lip reader here, if I could see what Coach Meehan is telling his troops. You know, skill-wise right now, they've got to do more to keep Moeller out of system.
Yeah.
You're not going to stop Haggerty on the outside with this current blocking lineup, so you've got to get it to where they can't get him that high, tight ball.
Yeah, and they're doing this without Patterson on the court, so they're doing it with Haggerty, who's 6'4", and Gesselbrock, who's 6'6". So they got some height out there, even with the 6'10" guy on the bench. We saw this happen with Threm last time. He didn't like his toss, so he's going to try it again. High toss, big swing, right through the hands of Bay.
Yeah, that might have been out. When you're way up high with your hands and you're in the back row, odds are it's out.
Threm again. That one's into the net. Everything a little bit off that time. He kind of swung across his body. 12-6, Moeller with the lead. And it'll be Elijah Bay to the serving line.
We'll see here if Bay can make a difference. They've got Zappone back in the front row now as well.
There's a dig by Dollard. Back row. Too long, no touch, so that'll be a point for the Explorers. Off the errant swing by Gesselbrock.
And that's what you need to do. You need to force Moeller into mistakes.
Haggerty blocked. Bump set, Haggerty again. It's between Bay and Rookie. Perfectly placed hit.
Yeah, it looks like Rookie was actually expecting a bit more of a sideline shot because he was way out on that left back sideline.
Wong with the serve. Back row. And a miss hit by Elijah Bay.
Now that time maybe trying to do a little bit too much. He does have great hand to ball, but that one was asking a little bit much of body mechanics.
Wong with a very uncharacteristic service error. 14-8, Moeller has the advantage over the Explorers.
We'll see if Rookie can get going here from the serving line.
Gramosiak back into the match. Good pass outside. Haggerty pummels it off Jake Brown.
Yeah, Brown was still backing up into his defensive position. He just kind of stuck his arms out. Haggerty was like, that's not gonna work against me.
Markham to Zappone, that's an overpass and unable to save it. Hustling towards the table is John Perez, but that'll be a point for Moeller. And now Moeller matching the fun quotient we saw from the Explorers early on. Moeller playing loose and fun. Short, Zappone, Brown, Bay, into the block, and that's a point for the Explorers. 16-9, Moeller with the lead.
Little crafty shot there from Bay from the back row. Because Patterson is up there, yeah, I think you got to get Gramosiak the ball here while he's in the front row.
Yerke with a good serve outside. My goodness gracious. Gesselbrox goes up and hammers that thing down, and he's excited.
You know, when you run a 5-1 and your setter plays all the way around, which is, you know, the trend in both boys and girls, men's, women's, you know, there's always the possibility you come up against a team that you simply cannot block.
Trying to keep it alive, and they've got an Explorer into or underneath the net.
I think they're calling, I'm not sure what they're calling. Maybe it was a net call. I was thinking back row block, but Brown's in the front row.
Yeah. Timeout taken by Larry Meehan. 18-9, Moeller's doubled up Hudson here. That's the second timeout taken by the Explorers, so they need to set the ship right here.
Yeah, again, I think, you know, Hudson is starting to see that you cannot keep doing the same thing.
Yeah.
But what they have not done enough is get Gramosiak the ball. And that, even if you have to start kind of forcing it a little bit, you know, this is a point when you can clearly do that and say, well, we had to. You're not going to play safe and come back from 9 to 18.
Well, and Moeller's done such a good job on serve receive that
Yes.
It's been very difficult to get any momentum with the ball on your side of the net. High toss, and that's going to go underneath the net. Haggerty totally mishit that one, and all he can do is smile. His teammates giving him no grace.
They will let them know.
18-10, Moeller with the lead. But the serve for the Explorers, and Noah Zappone at the serving line. He serves Wong. Quick one in the middle, dug out nicely. Outside, into the block. That's Gesselbrock and Patterson, but you talked about it earlier, that moving Patterson from pin to pin all day long, and that time he was just a smidge late getting over. 18-11, Moeller on top. Serves Haggerty. Outside, Threm, cross court, dug up. Zappone tosses it across. Wong outside, Gesselbrock. Touched, can they get it across? They do get it across. Unbelievable play by Zappone. Close to the net. They navigate, keep it alive. Back set, Zappone. Down the pipe. Back set. Too long, untouched. And the point goes to the Explorers.
There you go. You're seeing that ability to just keep those really tough swings from Moeller alive, because they're doing well with these long rallies.
Zappone serves. Haggerty. Back row. Just across the net, trying to pancake it, but unable to get too much elevation, or enough elevation, was Tyler Rookie.
Yeah, he did get underneath it. It didn't give its characteristic pop-up.
It kind of rolled up his wrist, I think, instead,
Yeah.
unfortunately for him. 19-12, Patterson with the serve. He serves middle back, Rookie handles it, outside. Bay off the touch, outside. Threm, big swing, out. So a couple attack errors from Moeller here have allowed the door to stay open for the Explorers. But we see Gramosiak serving from the back row. Haggerty, good pass, back set. Big swing down the line, goodness gracious. Gesselbrock is feeling it.
Yeah, he's got the combination of the timing, the power, the height. I can imagine that he will be playing at the next level.
Big swing, dug out by Rookie. Quick one in the middle. Hit hard, out. Good effort up the middle by number 25, Luca Carvalho. But he couldn't keep it between the white lines, and now Moeller leads by 8, 21-13. The high toss. This one's too long. So Hudson's deficit is 7, but they have to be able to do something with the ball on their side of the net right now. And the man called upon to get the serve in is Jake Brown. It's an overpass. Kept alive. Gesselbrock outside the antenna.
Yeah, it looked a little bit like Bay there, trying to do something fancy. Just a lot of really talented players on these two teams. This has been such a great match.
And that ball was punched to no man's land, and Zappone was caught a little flat-footed. He hustled, he tried.
Yeah, he was caught too shallow and then had to try to play it going backwards.
22-15 with Threm at the serving line. High toss, pounds it. Outside to the back, straight down the line. Big point for Bay. Elijah Bay found that sliver of floor and got the point.
Well, I'll tell you, if Moeller can play consistent, I mean, they can even trade points, you know. But Hudson's got to do something special, and that's not it.
Yeah, you can't have a service error in that situation. Bay serves it wide, so it's 23-16. And Tyler Wong serves Zappone. Pushed across. The bump. Haggerty kept alive. Nicely done. Outside, Zappone. Off the touch. Trying to keep it alive. They do. Brown back set. Bay into the block. Point Moeller, and now it's set and match point for the Crusaders, 24-16. Tyler Wong hoping to send his team to a state championship matchup tomorrow. Zappone, Brown, back, Bay, into the block, kept alive. Carvalho, Wong keeps it up. Out of bounds, Patterson. Again, that ball kind of got behind him. He had to swing, and he's even saying he hurt his shoulder.
And even though that was out of bounds, that was like at the 3-foot line, just for reference.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Oh, geez.
24-17. Outside, Haggerty into the net. Really tried to cut that one hard and couldn't quite clear it.
They're getting a little excited here.
Gesselbrecht playing with his fans a little bit. Rookie. Right through the hands of Dollard.
I wish I could say that I have my fans. He can,
right.
you know.
He's got fans.
I don't have fans.
You've got fans. You've got dozens of fans, I have no doubt.
13 to be exact.
Yeah, well, yeah. 24-19.
Oh, goodness.
Middle back, Dollard. Outside, Haggerty. Dug out. Gesselbrecht. They keep it alive outside. They're going to call a net violation against Ben Markham. And so Hudson, still a long way to go, but they're crawling back into this thing, trailing now by 4.
Yes, it is not impossible. It is not impossible.
Tyler Rookie. Dollard, quick one. And they can't keep it alive. The ball off the hand of Jake Brown. Moeller gets their 25th and deciding point, and they have advanced, beating Hudson this afternoon 15-25, 25-20, 25-16, and 25-20.
That was a great high school boys volleyball match.
Yeah, it was. Just incredible.
Yeah, the execution, you know, the way that a smaller team really played a different kind of game than we're used to with boys power. And that was really neat to see. And then Moeller to get their footing and to figure out that they had the advantage that would ultimately win them this match. I love the way that Hudson played, the joy that they played with. This was really, really special for this first weekend of boys OHSAA volleyball.
The two head coaches meeting at the net, having a conversation after a hard-fought battle. Congratulations to both of these coaches and the work that they've done this season. Larry Meehan, his team comes to the end of their season with a record of 23-1. Lee Meyer sees his team advance to 20-4 and a chance to play tomorrow afternoon against the Patriots of Olentangy Liberty. And I'll ask you just real quick to look into your crystal ball and give me a sense of what you're thinking about right now, knowing that that one's less than 24 hours away.
You know, if Olentangy Liberty plays tomorrow the way it played today, that's going to be a tall task. Now, having said tall task, Moeller has the size. Moeller has the size. But Liberty plays a very similar game to Moeller, and their offense is much more diverse. Now, people that are listening are going to say, well, she's in the Olentangy district. I'm trying to look at this as a coach.
Yeah.
And I just think the diversity of offense, the more options might favor Olentangy Liberty.
It's going to be a whale of a matchup regardless.
It's going to be a whale of a matchup.
Looking forward to it. Looking forward to working with you. Thanks so much for spending time this afternoon.
Absolutely. You have 2 more to go.
Yeah, I'm excited.
You going to be able to talk tomorrow?
We'll see. If not, I know that you've got it. We'll be great. No problem. Coming up in just a little while, it'll be about 35 minutes or so away. It'll be St. Vincent St. Mary's versus Archbishop McNicholas in the first of 2 semifinals in the Division II state semifinals. So come back for that one. It's 4:38 right now. It's supposed to start at 5 or 30 minutes following the conclusion of this one. They haven't started the clock quite yet. So 30 minutes or so from now, St. Vincent St. Mary and Archbishop McNicholas. Tomorrow, a state finals is set. It's going to be Olentangy Liberty, and it's going to be Cincinnati Archbishop Moeller. Can't wait. Until then, for Michelle Mimna, I'm Chris Solwecki. Thanks so much for joining us. Moeller gets the win 3-1 over Hudson this afternoon. Again, the final score, 15-25, 25-20, 25-16, and 25-20. Until tomorrow, thanks so much for listening and watching. Have a great night, everybody.